I want to share 3 lies that pre-retirees tell themselves that ends up causing them to delay their retirement. But this is tricky though, because behind every lie, there's truth, right? That's why so many people believe these things. But I'm hoping that I can get you to think a little bit differently than you're thinking right now. And I want to share some stories of other retirees who are maybe a few years ahead of you, because finding someone who's been where you are or where you want to go and then following those steps, it's a great cheat code for life. So might as well do that. So I'll share 3 lies, and then I'll share what to do so we can break through these lies and actually not worry about them anymore and just be confident with what we're doing and make sure we're doing the best thing for your specific situation. And by the way, I'm Dave Zoller, and I own a retirement planning firm, Streamline Financial, with Tim. And we've helped a lot of people retire over the past 14 years. And we want to use this channel to really share what's working for them and share that with you. So let's get into lie number 1. And this is going to cause you to delay retirement. And it's that thought of, I'll just work 1 more year and then I'll have more saved. And then retirement's going to be more secure. It's going to be better all around. Now, that is true that if you work an extra year, you're going to have a little bit more saved and all of those things. But the real question here is working 1 more year really what I want to do? We've seen in the past that people may lose the drive to work, depending on the career, when they get to a certain age, or maybe things start changing at work that they really aren't that big of a fan, and they really start looking forward to other areas of their life that they want to spend more time in. But they continue to work and they say, maybe just 1 more year. I'm not 100% confident. I don't have that level 10 out of 10 confidence here. So maybe 1 more year and it'll just get me a little bit closer to that feeling that I'm looking for. And then a year later, well, maybe just another year. It's not that bad. And they justify it, and they just keep going. Again, it's true. Every retirement plan is going to look better the more you work, the more you earn, the more you save. What we need to do though is actually look at the real numbers. So let's see if I can pull this plan up of a sample plan. And there's this question here of, what if we did retire sooner? And just to give you a quick summary of what this is net worth investable assets over the entire lifetime of this person retiring this year. And what if they retired a little bit sooner? What would that look? But before we get into that, all of these other what if scenarios, they are so important, at least what we're seeing with our clients, to really go through all of them, all the things on your mind, anything that will get you a little bit more confident and a little bit more to that level 10 out of 10 confidence is worth doing. They're just what if scenarios. They're just things to explore. But anyways, let's get into this and see what this looks like. What if you retired 1 year sooner? How does that change the plan? And we'll see that blue bar go down just a little bit and see the overall value of the plan go down a very small amount. And knowing that and seeing that is pretty helpful, because then you could decide, well, that's a lot of money there, but is it really worth it? Is it really worth 1 more year? And like I say in some of these other videos, is you start to realize as you get older that time does not equal money. Time is infinitely greater than money. Now, don't get me wrong. If you run the numbers, if you look at your retirement plan and you're not close to being financially independent, then work may be a necessity. So that just obviously we need to plan the right way. That's why at least running a plan and knowing the answers ahead of time is important. But for many people that we help, we see that the plan is just fine. Something you may have heard on this channel before is that retirees will commonly say is, I wish I had done it sooner. Now, let's get on to lie number 2. Now, the next lie is one that you may not be saying out loud, and you may not be saying these exact words, but it's usually in the back of many pre-retirees' heads, or even retirees' heads. And that is, if I'm not working, am I going to be as valuable anymore? Throughout our career, we've been continually creating and providing value to others through our work, providing value to clients and to customers or coworkers or patients or students or whoever it is. We're helping somebody. And that's why work can be so fulfilling, because we're valuable in some way. But when we get to this place of financial independence, where we can now make work optional, one of the things that may hold us back is that feeling of having less significance in this next stage of no work, or maybe less purpose in this next stage. But I'll give you a way to break through this and really get to this great feeling of fulfillment and purpose. It's taking some time to find what you love doing and what you're really good at, your skills, and then what the world needs. While you were working, there was this other thing, this other circle we had to think about, which was the compensation, economic side of it. But we don't have to think about that in retirement anymore. It's down to 3. So it's easier. And just an example of this is a friend of mine. He was stopping work in his late 50s. He had really, the reason was something captured his heart, something that he loved, and it was his granddaughter. And he had worked such long hours when his own kids were little. He felt like he missed out on a lot of that childhood, their younger childhood, and he didn't want to miss out on this one. And the only problem was that she was a 6-hour plane ride away. So he knew what he loved, and he knew he was good at it. He was young. He was in his late 50s. He was ready to be there and keep up with his grandkid and grandkids to come. And this idea of what the world needs, well, it kind of reminds me of that quote of, to the world, you might just be one person, but to one person, you may just be the world. So that's what he felt like. That's what he wanted to do, be that world for his granddaughter's younger years. Now, the other thing to think about regarding this is the fact that you've built up this lifetime of knowledge and skill and wisdom, and you can use those things, and you have used those things to create value and to help people. And even if you retire from the money-making activities, you can still use those things to continue to help people. Maybe it's mentor or give advice, or maybe it's helping your family, like my one friend in his 50s, or maybe it's just helping people in your industry. I don't know what it might be, but what I do know is that you should not pack up your wisdom and your abilities and your skills and all the things that you could do to help others and just put it on the shelf. It's life is more than just you, right? There's a lot more to this life than just the things that are important to us. There's things we can do to help others. So we should really keep using those things that we have to help others. That's what we've seen really provide so much fulfillment for clients as they get into retirement. Because contribution is one of those 3 keys to a happy retirement. The other 2 are creativity and connection. And all 3 of those things, those are the 3 keys, the 3 C's to retirement. And then one other thing that was interesting, if you ever read the Bible before, the only time retirement that I've seen mentioned in the Bible, it could be mentioned more times, but it's in Numbers. And it was people who were, it had to do with these tent meetings with Moses. And once you got to a certain age of 50, you were no longer needed in these meetings, but you could still be there to really mentor or assist the younger generation in these meetings and preparation and things like that. So I just thought that was kind of interesting as we're thinking about mentoring, we're thinking about purpose and everything like that in retirement. Thought that was interesting to share. But if you're liking this so far, be sure to subscribe, because YouTube doesn't always recommend these retirement videos unless you are subscribed. So the next lie that stops people from retiring or maybe delaying retirement another year is that idea of retirement is going to be boring. It's kind of like the thing that we just talked about where, we don't know what we're going to do next, but that thought of what am I going to do all day? Now, the only time I've seen this come true is if you spend 0 time thinking about what you're going to do in retirement. If you just work head down all the way up until this date and then you're done, those people get caught off guard. Let's not have that happen to you. This also happens to people if they are working and they have a job that they just do not like, a crappy job, and they are retiring from that job, right? Instead of thinking about what they're retiring to, what they're moving forward, something that they're excited about, if they're only looking to run away from and be done with, once that thing's gone and they haven't thought about what's next, that's where they sometimes get into trouble. So don't retire just from something, retire to something that you're looking forward to. And if you're still working now, make sure that you invest time now to explore those 3 C's that we talked about. What are the 3 C's going to be for you? That idea of contribution, connection, and creativity. Maybe even think about purposely doing them now. That's one piece of advice I got from a client that I hadn't heard before. It was a previous video. Maybe we can link it up on the screen now. But he actually started, when it comes to contribution, he started carving out a piece of his work day or work week, and he was using that to help some of these causes that he cared about. And then the transition to work was not really a big transition. It was really just a nice, easy move, and he kept doing the things that were most fulfilling to him. So just to recap, think about these things again. Number one is, I'll just work one more year. Is that really true? Let's run the numbers, see what the dollars are. Number two is, I won't be as valuable anymore. That's only if you don't plan it or think about it or decide or do those 3 C's. And then number three is, I'm gonna be bored. Or what am I gonna do all day? That's not true either. There are so many people that are doing retirement right. Let's school off them, let's learn from them. And that's what this channel is about. Part of this channel, we've got the financial side and then we have the non-financial side. Both of them gotta be working together. And then I got another video coming up, which is 3 reasons to retire as soon as you can. And then I may link to a few others related to this topic. Thanks for being here. I'm Dave Zoller, and have a great rest of your week.